You got it, Don, William. All right. So first off, questions. Anyone have any questions for me? Look at this fall. William, do you have the Atlas line? Okay, very good. Okay, good, good. Great, Sanjay. Fantastic. Great. Okay, very good. Let me take a look here at the news events. I print this out every week. It really doesn't matter where you get this information. Just look for the red stars and the red flags. And basically, I'm more interested in not getting caught up, as you know, in the mess that occurs during a news event. I don't like to bracket trades. A lot of methods that are out there bracket in some way, point or two above. And for today, we have an 8:30 in the morning, which already has passed, employment situation. I have no idea what the number is. So, in all honesty, I don't know if it was a good number or a bad number. I haven't. Let's take a look. As a matter of fact, here we can find out. This always cracks me up. Why do they revise things? Why do they revise the prior, right? That never makes any sense to me. Isn't the number the number? Why do they have to revise it? All right, so the consensus today was 165, the range, and the actual is 115. So it's actually lower than the consensus here, and right around the range. So let's see what happened here with the 8:30 news event. Okay, 8:30 news event was long. Look at that. So hopefully you guys have been, I'm just going to expand here the E-mini S&P here for a little bit. So hopefully you guys have been following me for a little bit. I try to do as much informative information as possible on how I look at price and how I trade, ABC pattern, news, all that good stuff. I do have some proprietary software like the Atlas line, as you see, but for the most part, I really want to concentrate on isolating the price to tell me what's happening and putting a little bit of a spin on it, not thinking long or short, but thinking about market proving to me instead the direction. So hopefully everyone had an opportunity to watch the few videos that I've done recently on the news. And for those of you who haven't, I'll go over it briefly today. For those of you who have, can you tell me what we are doing based on the method that I show and teach everyone on trading the news? How do I handle this? William, I think somebody had a question here about what would you have done on the news announcement this morning, William asked me. Right? William, have you seen the blog post that I did, the video that I did? And can you tell me, or anyone here actually, right? This is a place where we can all learn from each other, share some ideas. What would have we done here based on that news event? Right. Looking for a chaotic bar. So, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, this candle right here, I'm just going to isolate this candle right here. This is by far the reaction, this huge candle as you see it, right? Morning, everyone. Rob. Okay, so based on how I show it in the previous videos, you guys know that I'm not willing to jump in long, right? And this is what it would look like as it's happening, right? This is what it would look like. So you can see that there are many traders that decided to go long based on just looking at this, seeing that there's a big wick, seeing that there's some type of failure to go lower, all that good stuff, right? All this over interpretation and over analysis that occurs. But really simply, I'm not willing to follow this initial reaction. I know it's chaotic. I want to do the absolute opposite. And for those of you who haven't, morning Keith, for those of you who haven't seen the video, I really encourage you to watch it, because I think that if you go back in history, your chances overwhelmingly to be accurate in something like this are definitely in your favor than to just shoot from the hip. So we see this. You can see why a lot of traders want to go long based on this information, but in actuality the market went down. So here I go, 2 consecutive closings. Some of you even like 1. I recommend 2 consecutive closings below that chaotic news event. So what do you think? Can you just hear the opportunity to go short? Actually, it would be, I'm sorry, it would be right here. Right? Leighton, love it. So here is my reason. We always have to have a reason for what we do. Okay. It's okay, William. It's fine. It's not a problem. Yeah, it's not a problem to take it. It's independent. And remember, if it happens any time throughout the day, that is a perfect opportunity. Now, if you missed this trading the news short, not to worry. The Atlas line is also telling us short. So now you have 2, in essence, really 2 confirmations that that we should be thinking short, right? We have not just the trading the news event, right? But we also have the Atlas line that is telling us short. So I always like to, when you see 2 things or more, right? More the better. 2 things telling you a direction, the odds are definitely in your favor. Okay? That's how I like to interpret it. Finley, good morning. We have a meeting today, Finley, right? If I'm not mistaken. Just take a look here at my schedule. I think we do, right, Finley? I'm not sure, but take a quick look here. All right, so speaking on trading the news, hopefully everyone has watched that video. Just to do a quick recap, you look for a chaotic bar. Very simply, a news event comes out. I look for a red flag, a red star. And by the way, it doesn't really matter if you're looking at the Forex Factory or the European news events. Just look for red stars only, right? Market movers, and here's the index, or here's the description. Market moving indicator, red, so red flag, red stars. I look at that and I say I got to be real careful around those times. So I'm not interested in trading, but I am interested in doing something if the opportunity presents itself. And if everyone is wrong who went long based on this initial reaction, you have a hit here, okay? Because those traders have to do something with that order. They have to cover their long position, and it fuels the market in the opposite direction. So one of the questions here is, Hugo, where's a stop? I am going to use, Hugo, that same 1378, this low of this candle. A close above that would be considered a stop or a prove it stop of some sort, proof that we aren't going lower. So if you have an entry here to go short based on the news event, and the market comes up and closes, gives you a closing price above this 1378 quarter, the median line here, as I like to call it, then that is proof to say I should be out of the trade. We're not going lower. I'm out of it, and so forth. That's what my stop would be. A closing price, Hugo, above 1378 quarter. This is what I'm referencing. Morning, Joe. All right. Now, like I said, there was a follow-up Atlas line trade. Again, I think it's 1377.75, exactly that right there. Close of this bar tells you to go short, and again, an excellent opportunity. I look at an ATR, average true range, which is ATR here, value of 4 or 5. Tells me the last 20 minutes, last 4 bars, what's happening, what should I be looking for as far as a profit target. I don't hope it's going to 10 points. I don't hope that it's going for 5 points or so forth. I'm trying to be here as precise and objective as possible. If the last few bars have moved or had a range of about 2 points, that's in reality what I can expect the market can do. So I have some expectations here. I'm not trying to grab 10 points. You can definitely trail it. You can do all those things, trailing, a stop, multiple positions. All that stuff sounds great, but in and out, especially in this kind of a market environment, you take the money and you run. All right. Alan says here, if you take the trade the news trade, do you still wait until it hits its target before you would take the 1377.75 Atlas line short? Would you not take two separate trades? You could take two separate trades. I'm not sure if I'm a big advocate, Alan, of doubling up. Maybe instead going for a little bit more profit instead of doubling up, depending on your account size, would be a safer bet. But I'm not going to recommend betting the farm. Now you do have two things here going short, so it's a more substantial way to guarantee, I hate to use that word, the direction. But when you have more than one thing, obviously it means more. Okay, so depending on your account size, I wouldn't double up. I would maybe go for a little bit more profit. But this is a good thing that you have two opportunities here to go short. Now, if you had taken profit already on the news event and then decided to re-enter on the Atlas line short, I think that's fine. Right? You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out, and so forth. Okay, Alan? You got it, Hugo. Finley says here, sorry, here, Finley, I lost the question here. 1 second, Finley. Let me show you the euro as well. Euro is also short. Do you see a strength trade play during a pre-market around the employment candle? Your thoughts? I would not look at a strength or pullback trade unless there's enough action there on the ATR. Okay, Finley? So if it's slow, especially pre-market, I'd be very, very cautious on playing the market under those conditions. What do I think slow is? Anything under 1 on the ATR here, that means the market is unable to make 4 ticks or more of range within the last 20 minutes, 4 bars. That to me is slow. So if you want to trade pre-market, it's fine. There's no problem in doing pullback and strength trades, especially if you put the Atlas line on for an overnight. But just remember, if it's, let me see here, was it? No, a little bit here. Be under 1, you're going to get a lot of dojis to this effect. Dojis and whipsaw, as you can see here. Right? This is a direct correlation of slow movement. So you should know that. When to stay out and when to stay in. All right, Finley? Don, I'll explain the double bar entry. Yes. Okay, give me a second here. I just want to make sure that I get everyone's questions. SS Chu, this is a webinar. It's not for mentorship. It is a webinar that I put on. I try to do it once a week, showing you the Atlas line, showing you trades that are important, answering questions, and also doing a little bit of teaching at the same time. SS, so this is once a week I try to do this for everyone, for everybody, okay, whether you're a client or not. What a double bar entry is, Don, is going to be 2 consecutive closings above or below the Atlas line. So there's no mystery, and with everyone who purchases the Atlas line, I do about an hour and a half webinar training session on how to use the Atlas line for the markets that you want, whether it be overnight, for your international traders. London Open is what I recommend. So 2 consecutive closings above or below gives us an entry. So if you take the euro here as an example, Don, 2 consecutive closings gave this entry here to go short. Okay, same thing on the E-mini. So that's how a double bar short entry is plotted, how it's calculated, and so forth. Okay, Don? You're welcome. All right, here, let me see. I'm getting a lot of questions, so just hang tight, guys, just a moment so I can get to every one. Well, it depends on what happens first, Alan. Alan asks here, so trading the news first before jumping into another trade. It really depends on what happens first. We take trades in sequence. So whatever's there for us, Alan, at the time of the entry, it could have not been the trading the news. It could have been the Atlas line short first before that trading the news confirmation. So it's really whatever's happening at the time is the trade that we take. So the trades are taken in sequence. It's not, we're not waiting for anything specific first. Okay, if it's there to take, it's there to take. Sure, Keith, absolutely. Keith says here, not to quarrel, but if your trade is going in your favor, rather than getting out after 4 bars, why not use a trailing stop? Absolutely. I don't have any problems, Keith, with trailing stops at all. So it's not my idea that you can't use them. I do have to say, though, if you think about in reality what markets typically do, they don't typically trend as often as we'd like. Markets usually flip-flop more than anything. So if you have an opportunity to take the profit and run, or better yet, if you're using multiple contracts, at least take half off at the profit target of what I consider the ATR, the range, and then let the remainder run. I think that's a better option. But remember, again, I don't believe that we know that if there's going to be a runner or the market's going to trend at that specific moment. It's almost a toss-up. So in order to bank on your profit, you're in, you're out, and you're finished with it. That's how I look at it. But doing multiple contracts is definitely the way to go if you can afford it. Sanjay, for the strength trades and pullback trades, it's the closing price. And I actually sent you a video, Sanjay, in the hour-and-a-half training session of the last Atlas line training that I did. I sent you the video. It should be on your account on the just log in, and I explain how the strength and on the pullback trades is the closing of that candle. You're short, Sanjay. Okay. Jeff, the Atlas line begins at this time here. Okay, if you want to put an Atlas line, it's a very good question. Here overnight, you can have an Atlas line plotted for the overnight session. Here, let me just expand this here a little bit. And you can see that there's an Atlas line starting at the 3 o'clock London Open. And you have these trades here for the overnight. So you can have it more of a continuous situation. I set it for the US Open. For me, it's 9:30. And the London Open if you want to trade pre-market. To answer your question. Jeff. Okay, you're welcome. Joe, send an email to support@DayTradeToWin.com. My support man is Nate. He will be happy to log into your computer, check it out. Maybe it's a licensing issue of some sort. He'll definitely look at that and make sure that it's working for you. So just send an email, Joe K. He'll check it out for you. He'll log in and get it up to speed for you. I wouldn't recommend range bars. Renko bars I've never tested, Leighton. I think tick charts, volume charts, I would stay away from range bars, even though you're still going to get the Atlas line plotting. It does work. I don't think it works as well as tick charts, volume charts, and minute charts, Leighton. Okay. Keith says here. Very good, Keith. Keith says here, John Paul, celebration. I went through the Power Price Action DVD course, simulated the rules yesterday, and had a positive experience. All right, very good, Keith. Just remember, it's every week for an hour. If you can, join the training session, the Power Price Action. I include 8 weeks of training with it, making sure that you understand the rules, making sure that you're clear on whatever markets you're trading. And so I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Keith. Fimu bought the Atlas line. I will send you, Fima, anyone who hasn't received it, we try to send it out to everyone that's on our list. Fimai Ulu, if you send an email to support@DayTradeToWin.com, I'll be happy to send you the updated version. Okay? Just send an email and we'll set you up with it. Yep. Sanjay, just check your email. We'll send you the login information. You can check out the all those trades. Okay, it's an hour and a half of training video, right? You're welcome. At the open trade, I'll take a look at the open trade here. At the open short. The at the open short was right here, William. Right? Is that the same thing you have, William, for the at the open? 1375.50. That was a perfect entry. Right? Your short limit order went straight down. Right? Hopefully you were able to see that, William. All right. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see some more questions here. Post your question again, Dan, so I'm able to read it, because I'm just trying to get to all the questions. Dan? Jeff, the Russell E-mini with the Atlas line? Sure, you want to take a look at the Russell. Here, let me put up the Russell here. Take the mini out here. TF, let's take a look at what the Russell did here today. While it's loading the data, we'll take a look at the Russell, be happy to. All right, so here's the Russell. Double bar short. Here's the Russell for the at the open trade, and a few pullback and strength trades, right? There's a pullback trade happening right now to go short on the Russell, right there. All right, Jeff? You're welcome, Jeff. Russell is a good market, right? I wouldn't trade both E-mini and Russell at the same time. Pick one or the other. I think it's I think I would not want to trade the Dow, the E-mini, the Nasdaq, and the Russell, only because they follow each other up and down. Okay. Good. I'm glad to see that a few of you looked at Trading the News this morning and were able to grab a little something out of that news event. If you haven't seen the video on Trading the News, I think it's really informative. Go ahead and check it out, especially when it's a high percentage of winners in that specific method of trading the news. That's right, Sanjay. If the ATR is above 1, then you have opportunity. When it's below 1, really what it means is that the market's just very slow, and it's not worth trading under those conditions. And also, by the way, when the extreme is very volatile, it's also not worth trading. Okay. I do have the Atlas Line Ed on and the At the Open on TradeStation. Yes, I do. It's available for TradeStation and NinjaTrader. Yeah, sure. Fimi, just send me an email. Fimi, Fimiulu. Send me an email, and I'll be happy to update that training session of the Atlas Line with the new Atlas Line version. Just go ahead and send an email, and Nate will set you up on it. It's not a problem. You can't change the font size of the S and the P. I think it'll, not that my programmer did it, I think it will, Alan, clutter the chart. It'll just clutter the chart too much. I would not take it after it touched. If the trade is over, it did what it had to do. I would not recommend taking this again, William, for the at the open. Okay, would not recommend it. It did what it had to do, and so I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. The news event. Oh, Dan, the news event yesterday at the time of the first trade ruined the trade. Is this a good example of what you advocate regarding staying out when a major news is pending? I do, Dan. When you have a news event that blows through exactly what we're thinking about, trading on the opposite side, that's when I would definitely say stay out until it does what it has to do. And you can see yesterday that definitely after it blew through that news event, it just kept on going. So absolutely, Dan, that's exactly what I'm referring to. Vinny. No, the strength trade, I'm only going for a point. Strength and pullback trades, Vinny. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question. Strength and pullback trades, in my opinion, are best taken for just a point. Now, if the market is very strong, then definitely it's not, in my opinion, you can take more than a point, right? But under these conditions, 2 points on the ATR, just take a point on the strength and pullback trades. Okay, Vinny? You got it, Hugo. Glad you were able to catch that. Excellent. And those of you who signed up for next week mentorship session, some of you here in the room, I will be joining you guys for the next 8 weeks or more. Rob's in the mentorship. A few of you who signed up. Look forward to meeting everyone there next week. Anyone who still wants to join the mentorship class for 8 weeks starts Wednesday next week. Be happy to have you. Send me an email, and you get all the details as well. Okay, great, guys. You got it, Sanjay. There's not any updated version of the scalper, Sanjay. So our thought process is bearish at this point. Correct, Finley. Correct. Because we're below the Atlas line, and we're just continuing to head lower, and so forth. Yes. William, the latest version, as you can see here, wow, all these markets are tanking. Let me take a look at the crude. Somebody mentioned the crude oil. Here, let me pull it up. Let's find out what's happening here on the crude. Haven't even looked at the crude. I'm not, just to let you guys know, I'm not a big crude oil fan. It's not something that I recommend any trader jump into. You got to be really careful with the crude oil. Here's the crude for today, based on the Atlas line. And the best trades are the ones that occur nice and close to the Atlas line. It's not the ones that give you entries far away from it. When you get in to a trade, we want to be as close as possible to the Atlas line. And I explain all this in the training. But just so you know, as an example, this is a nice setup. Because if we're wrong and the market turns around and closes in the opposite direction, then I have a tight prove-it stop. Okay? Hopefully gas prices will go down a little bit. Ease up on our $60 filling up a tank of gas here. And those of you in Europe, last time I was in Europe in a speaking engagement, it cost, I think, over $100 to fill up a tank of gas. So I don't envy you guys in Europe right now with $4 a liter or $3 a liter gasoline cost. So that's crude oil right now. Okay. All right, let me see where I'm missing any questions. If I did not answer any questions, please just go ahead and post them in the room again. I'm trying to catch all the questions that I can. We have a good group here of traders in the room, and trying to keep up here. Vij, what time it starts? Just ask me again what the question. Just clarify that question, Vij. Manny, when you have a double bar long or double bar short, Manny, it's the reason why this occurs here, double bar long or double bar short, is because there are two consecutive closings above or below the Atlas line. Okay? So two consecutive closings, closing bars, closing candles, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, it'll provide you a signal. So whether you're looking at the Euro or the E-mini or the Russell, it really in reality does not matter. It's two consecutive closings above or two consecutive closings below. And the entry price, Manny, is the close of the second bar. So as you can see, this is bar number 1, this is bar number 2. And at the close of the second candle, I know already, even before the text posts, that I'm going short. And the text is there. And just to look at the back end of the new Atlas line, you can have the ATR length, which I have down here, to tell you when you should or shouldn't be trading. These orders won't appear if the market's too slow. So I included this in the updated version. It has a font size to tell you if you want larger text or smaller text. You also have a condition where you can start the Atlas line at any time. I recommend, see, I made this larger here. I recommend the 9:30 Eastern Standard or the US Open, right, wherever you may live in the world, as well as the London Open, which opens up locally London time at 8 o'clock. For me, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So you can start as many Atlas lines as you want. Actually, let me start a new one here and start it for 3 o'clock in the morning, and click apply and click OK. And you can see, let me just expand this here. This is a 3 o'clock in the morning Atlas line here. Okay, we have longs here pre-market and short here when the London Open appears. Right over here. What is this here? This is 9:30. That's why. Okay, so we have here at the London Open, at the right before pre-market the U.S. Open, and then here at the U.S. Open. To answer the question. Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome, guys. At the Open, Javed, is a course that catches the opening move. That's why I call it At the Open. It's a course you can find it on the DayTradeToWin courses site. It's called the At the Open trade, and basically it's one, maybe two, but really it's just the initial trade up or down as the market opens. That's what the At the Open method is. It comes with software. You can use it on any market. All right. $90, Dan, in California. That's crazy. That's one of the reasons why I left. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I moved to Florida a few years ago because I don't want to pay state income tax, because I want a better quality of life. And a lot of people, Dan, are leaving California and moving to states like Texas and North Carolina, I believe in South Carolina, because of situations like that. So I feel for you, Dan. Late in $125. That is crazy. That's just crazy. I can't even imagine people surviving on trying to get to work and on filling up your tank with that kind of there's no new version of the At the Open SS Chew. The S&P automatically showing on the Atlas line. Can you go over the stop of the strength trade? Yes, the stop of the strength trade works like this. I'll take this here as to show you. You see how the market went for a strength trade? It went up and then it went down. Okay, think of this. I forgot who asked the question. Bob, you know, I like the seasons, but you know, you get used to it. You get used to the Florida weather. Okay. Here we have the market went up, market went down. What I want you guys to think about is a pivot. Think of this as a pivot. And since I'm only going for a point, obviously I can't risk a lot of money here on this trade. So think of a pivotal stop, right? And there's a couple of stops that I use. Time-based stop, pivotal stop, prove it stop. But this specific strength trade, I use a pivotal stop. And what this means is that if this trade does not go in my favor, something has to alert me that it's not going. Something has to tell me, hey, I'm not going short, or this is turning around, it's going against me. So what I use is a pivotal stop, which I incorporate the last 3 bars, and I say to myself, if this candle, and I go into much more depth, Vinny, I think it's Vinny who asked that. I go into much more depth, Vinny, in the training of the Atlas line for clients. But think about this. If this breaks, oops, I hit the wrong thing here. If this breaks the pivotal point here of it going up to then going down, it really should mean I should not be in this trade any longer. I want to see an immediate motion to the downside. So 2 ticks, Vinny, above these 3 bars. If it touches it, if this decides to go straight up, I'm out. That's my pivotal stop based on these 3 bars. Market went up, took a little breather, showed me strength. I want to see immediately head down based on that strength. The pivotal stop tells me I should be out of it. If it comes up and goes 2 ticks above that quote-unquote pivot based on the last 3 bars, that's the stop, Vinny, that I teach, that I recommend on the strength trade. Come on down, Bob. Come on down. Right? Aren't you tired of Jersey, man? I miss the restaurants and the food. I do, Bob. But come on down, man. When you come down, send me an email. We'll get together. Okay, let me see a couple more questions. Hopefully I'm not missing any here. Let's take a look here. Okay, Manny, I got your double bar entry. Pat, this does work on 1-minute charts. I think 1-minute charts are overrated, but here it is. I'll change it to a 1-minute chart. Here's a 1-minute chart right there. Or tick charts, right? So there's, I forgot who asked that question here already. Pat. Pat, it does work on 1-minute charts as well. Okay. I recommend really a 3-minute or 5-minute for the optimal setting, because you can get a little bit of whipsaw with a 1-minute chart. All right, but it does work on a 1-minute chart. All right, see what else we have here. Very good, Finley. Excellent. Excellent, Finley. William, to move the letters out of the way, you have a couple of things. You can just click on it and move it out of the way, right? If it's locked, let's say that this is locked like this, and you can't move it, you right-click on it and you unlock it. You move it out of the way. Another way to move, let me just go back to a 5-minute chart. Another way to move it is, William, to, in the indicators here, you can change the font size, larger or smaller, and you can also change how many bars back you want it seen so it's not in the way. So if you say, I want to see it 5 bars back, it doesn't change the entry. It just changes where the text appears. All right, and let me show you that. Let me just go here like this. I'll click apply, and you see that it's further back, just as an example. William, okay? So there's a couple of ways you can do it. Oh, I see. The mentoring class is at 4 p.m. That starts next week. Those of you who are asking about it, it starts on Wednesday the 9th. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. If you're international and you need a different time because maybe it's too early or it's in the middle of the night for you, send me an email. I'll see if I can change the class around that fits your schedule. I'm very flexible with the scheduling. Vision. I also do not just a class, but a one-on-one as well for mentorship, which we choose our own days and whatever works in our schedule. That's just me and you in the room, and we create our own schedule. All right. So it's next week's class is scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, about an hour and a half, a few times a week, and we take it from there. All right, Vish. Christina, how are you, Christina? The ATR indicator is what you see down here. Are you referring to the Atlas line, I believe? Christina, you have the lifetime Atlas line. If you haven't received an update, send an email, Christina, to support@DayTradeToWin.com, and I will send you an updated Atlas line software. Okay? Yes, exactly. Send me an email, and you can attend the next training, or I can send you the updated training video as well to show you. Really, the only thing I added here with the Atlas line here with the ATR length, Christina, is it's not going to plot any of these trades that you see here. Everything is telling you strength, strength, short, strength. But if the ATR is less than 1, these signals will not plot. So I added this just so you wouldn't have to you would not have to add this ATR in the bottom and manually check it. The software would not even plot it based on it being so slow. Christina. Okay. Ah, very good. How do you like it, Don? How do you like living in Florida as compared to New York? I just miss the food. I got you. I got you, Layton. It's known as a pivotal stop, correct? Still using the filter. Still using the filter. Absolutely, Finley. Still use that filter to validate strength and pullback trades. Absolutely. Sandy, come to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I will. I'll take you up on that offer, Sandy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just hop and skip away here. I will take you up on the offer, and I'll bring the family. Crash your house. Sanjay, Australia. You know, there actually, if you set it up, Sanjay, I will go to Australia. I have Heather, who lives in Australia, a client of mine who's always asking me to come. So if you set something up, I will be more than happy to go to Australia. You're welcome, Pat. $1,000 tick chart. Let's take a look at a 1,000 tick chart here. I think somebody's asking for a tick chart. You know, usually you guys are quiet. It's nice to see you guys interacting in the webinar. I'm getting more questions than I've had recently, which is great. So hold on a second. Let me put up 1,000. Oops, I'm wrong here. 1,000 tick chart on the E-mini. Is that what you want to see? Let's take a look. Tick chart. Let's see what it looks like. There you go. Let's see what that looks like. Hopefully, it won't freeze my system. Jeff, right, Jeff? Christina, there's an updated version of the Atlas line. Send me an email, and I will send it to you. Okay, and I also invite you to the next training class, or I'll update the video for you. Okay, Christina. Well, Joe, if you use a 3-minute chart, obviously the ATR is going to be less, right? So in a 3-minute chart, based off the ATR, yes, the profit target is going to be much less. Joe, you are correct on that. No, it's over, Dan. If you weren't able to get that strength trade, then Dan, if you weren't able to get that strength trade here, as it shot down because it just, it gapped, the little gap there, I wouldn't take it again, or I wouldn't try for it. Okay? Dan, just to be clear on that. You're welcome, William. Bruce, you did send me an email on the roadmap. I'm not going to go over it here in the room here, but I have an indicator now for the roadmap that was just coded about a week ago. So I will send you, Bruce, that roadmap indicator where it plots everything for you automatically, Bruce. And I did get your email. I just hadn't had a chance to get back to you, okay? Or get back to the emails. I'm behind here a little bit. And I would recommend maybe resending that, sending that email so I get to it today. You're welcome. Right, so here is the tick. 1,000 ticks. It doesn't look like a tick chart would do us any good really today. Whoever asked the question, I have here the double bar short. Here, this, lot of whipsaw here on a tick chart. So really, I don't see the advantage of using a tick chart. That's why I recommend the, here's a long, but I recommend the, and look at the ATR also, by the way. You see the ATR here? Less than 3 ticks. I wouldn't recommend taking any trade, for that matter, under 3 ticks. I think that's the reason why I don't use tick charts quite that often. I use minute charts, just so you can see that. Okay. I forgot who asked that question. All right, very good. So check out the news. News work today. If you haven't seen the video, check out the blog. Great stuff on the blog. Look forward to the few of you who are in the room that are going to join me in 8 weeks. I'm still going to answer your questions. There's still a lot of questions I got to get to here. Let me see here. Let me see what else I'm missing here. William, send an email. Tell me your schedule, William. I'll be happy to, sometime next week, we'll do the Atlas line. Anyone who purchases the Atlas line also gets a training. So, William, next week, tell me what your schedule looks like, and I will accommodate you with that training for the Atlas line. Okay? That's fine, Keith. It's no problem. And any questions that you have, Keith, you can send me by email, and I will do my best to get back to you. So no questions are silly questions, I guess you could say. I do get a lot of email, though. Let me see here. To make sure I get everyone. How many bars I wait for a fill? Dan, if time-based stop is 4 to 5 bars, if I am not still, if I'm still in the trade, if it hasn't gone in my favor, or if it's I'm still not where I want to be, I'm out of the trade after 4 or 5 bars. Dan. The scalper does, the trade scalper, the trade scalper does give you constant trades throughout the day, more so than the price action scalping. They're completely different. The price action scalping is just for E-mini on tick charts. The William, the trade scalper can work on any market, and you get continuous trades all day long. Yes, I definitely agree with that. Ed. You got it, William. Yeah, after 4 o'clock, Pat. I have evening mentorship as well, Pat, on certain days. So yeah, just send me what your schedule looks like. If I can fit you in after market or pre-market, I will. depending on my schedule. Pat Luckert. Okay. Send me an email and tell me, or call me up, and we can discuss it. Yes, I do training SSQ for the at the open, for the scalping. Absolutely. Okay. I abandon it if it's not hit, Alan. Absolutely, I abandon the strength trade. If it's not hit, it's finished. On the euro, let's take a look here at the euro. Here. Wow, this euro's dropping. I didn't even see this. Damn, 31.82. That is a huge move here on the euro. Euro properties. Let's take a look here. Okay, so you can't obviously have 4 as the value, or 1 as the value. 1, I'm sorry, as the value on the euro because it works in ticks. So you got to set it to false. If you set it to false, you should be fine. Okay, for the euro, or change it to 0.0005, for example, or 4 or 5. Wow, look at this thing move. And also look at the crude oil. It may be one of those days that the market just goes down and down and down. Have you guys watched the ABC video? This may be one of those ABC days where we have an opportunity where it's a trending day and it'll just keep on going short. Check out the ABC video, which at 12 o'clock, within the first 2.5 hours, if the market still continues lower and breaks the range of A, you have an opportunity to go short based on it being a trending day. So do a search on my blog for ABC trading video if you haven't seen it already. It's a method that outlines whether we're going to have a trending day or not. And it's called the ABC method. Okay. Okay, this is a pullback possibly here. If this market, let me just do this here. If this market turns around and goes short, this is going to be a pullback trade. Well, you've got to wait for this candle to post and then the next candle. So this may be a another pullback or strength trade, just as a by the way. I haven't looked at the reset, Finley, so I don't know on the at the open reset there. All right, guys, very, very good. I think I got everyone's questions. If I didn't, if I missed anybody, please post your question. I just looked through all the questions. I'm going to make sure that I got everyone. Dave, it's if you haven't received it, Dave Freeman, if you haven't received the new Atlas line, just send me an email at support@DayTradeToWin.com. We try to send it out to everyone that was on our list, and I will be happy to send it to you. Just send me an email so I know. I could have missed some people. You got it, Rob. See you this afternoon for our training. Have a great weekend. Send me your emails. I'll see the new guys, the new mentorship class on Wednesday. Those of you who want to join, email me, and stay safe. Billy F., Christina.